Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Cousin
Connection. Why am I laughing?
Podcast. Why did you do
Okay.
We're sticking with that.
Okay.
We're sticking with that. Guys, this is our 30th episode, the season finale for season one.
Is it the season finale?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I thought we were going to do like a couple more and then
we could.
Okay.
So is it not the season finale?
I don't know.
Or are
Let's get back to that.
videos after will be like the buffer? You know, like this.
Yeah, it'll be like the buffer stuff.
You know how they do like
0.5?
No, it'll be like a season finale, and they'll do like the Thanksgiving and Christmas episodes, and then they'll bring season one.
We'll do that.
All right,
exactly.
okay, that's what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. Not that we celebrate either, but you know,
I
feel
saw
like
something about that. You know what? We'll talk about it after.
all right, okay. So while Amir is sipping his tea, we got some tea for y'all. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. We don't have any tea, but we do. Before we get into our topic this week, which is the question and answer, which thank you everyone for whoever sent in questions. They were some good ones. I'm so excited to read them to you.
I tried to figure out how to read the questions, but again, of course, I don't know how to use Instagram.
It's okay, I got you.
So I kind of struggled there.
We actually just wanted to address our video from last week. So
not really the video, but I guess the clip.
The clip, yeah. So anyone who follows us on Instagram or on TikTok, you would have seen the clip and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Just as a quick disclaimer, we literally cut out 1 minute portions of our entire hour-long episode to kind of entice you guys to go and watch the rest of the episode. So sometimes you'll watch something and have zero context if it relates to something.
I try to keep as much context in there.
Sort of. But we love a little clickbait action
yeah,
too,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
That being said, we did not know. Let's just give y'all some context, okay? I posted this video on Instagram. The next day I posted it on TikTok and I went about my merry way, okay? I rarely ever actually stay on the Cousin Connection Pod TikTok page because I'm on my own TikTok page. The next day, Amir hits me up. He's like, whoa, have you been seeing what's going on TikTok? I'm like, no, why? We max get 60 views on our TikToks. Okay?
Yeah.
So
literally, I'll be checking to see is there any interaction? Come on, guys,
yeah,
give me something.
Someone give us a comment, please. All of a sudden, there's 60 comments on our video, which is the most we have ever gotten. So I was like, oh, what do people have to say about this clip? It's not even that exciting, you know? So I went through it and we gonna need to clean that up. Hold on.
And we're back after I literally spilt the tea all over the table.
Yeah, we weren't trying to be literal, but I guess
My bad. Okay, you can get back to your story there.
So, I'm going through the comments and people keep mentioning that we're defending someone who was accused of sexually assaulting someone. First of all, I can tell you now, I had no idea who this person was until I started reading the comments. And even then I texted Amir, who is Wisdom Seeker? I've never heard of this person. So as I was reading the comments, I started to get more context, oh, okay, this person was recently accused of this. I don't know. I didn't look into it. Okay, whether he actually did it or not, that's none of my business, okay? That being said, the shoe fit in this situation, okay?
Yeah.
This incident with him happened around the same time that we just happened to upload this TikTok. And because we were speaking about something Islamically related, I decided to hashtag Islam TikTok. And I guess everybody saw it. Okay. That being said, people started accusing us of defending someone who was a quote unquote rapist. Like I said, I don't know what he did or what he didn't do. I don't know him, period. So to me, I was confused. Why are people saying that we're defending this guy? We don't even know who he is. And I was trying to give context, but it's hard to give context on a 1 minute clip. So Amir then, he's like, let me just add the rest of what we were saying and maybe that'll clear some things up. So we did. We posted that and that didn't slow down the comments. They just kept going and going and going. Eventually people were arguing with each other and I kind of just didn't know what else to say because I can't speak on a situation I don't know, right? But we wanted to clarify what we meant in terms of the whole cancel culture, especially when it comes to Islamic teachers. I don't know if you want to start or if you want me to just
you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So also I think I'm wearing my headphones backwards today.
Yeah, you are wearing it backwards.
Something feels off. The cord is usually on the other side. Okay, so in the video, I gave an example of someone who is teaching religion online. I gave the example of TikTok because that was the platform we were uploading it on. Someone who primarily uses TikTok to spread knowledge, I mean, to each their own. Like, there were some people in the comments that were saying, like, you shouldn't be using TikTok for that because it's a music app. You can use TikTok for literally anything. Same thing with Instagram, same thing with YouTube, same thing with every single social media platform. What you do with it is up to you. That being said, the example that I gave wasn't to do with if you've molested someone in the past, if you've committed murder in the past, if you've done something that has lasting effects on someone. The example was, I said, a quote unquote sheikh, meaning someone who maybe does not have that credential, someone who just has the ability to record themselves and speak on the religion, whether it's correct or not. That was the example I was trying to get at. And what we were talking about was whether someone is spreading correct information or not, because the whole point of that episode was how the internet is changing our lives. We were talking about virtual reality. We were talking about how the internet has changed how we consume or how we seek the knowledge, right? Because nowadays it's so easy to find an online class, but it doesn't always mean that the class that you're in is the right class. You know what I mean? Sometimes people, if they're able to get a platform, they'll teach or they'll teach people, but they're not always teaching the correct information. So we were saying that it's better to do your due diligence and like actually do the research in the person that you're learning your knowledge from, in any sense, like religiously speaking, or even if you're just looking to learn in general, whatever class you're trying to take. You know, you don't want to take knowledge from someone that has no idea what they're talking about, but they're presenting it in a nice way. You know,
yeah, especially if it's something as sensitive as religion.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So when we were giving that example about someone making a mistake, we were like, if y'all want to be specific, let's say someone used to be a drug dealer. Okay, they used to be a drug dealer. They got caught. They did time. They come out of jail and they're a brand new person. They've repented. They regret their past and they no longer do that. They've decided to devote their life to Islam and become a teacher. In that sense, do you think it's fair to quote unquote cancel someone or not learn from them just because they've had a past? I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, no, that's not fair at all. Exactly.
Nor is he obligated to come up and say, I used to do this in the past. Because why? If he's already repented from it, why do you need to speak up on it?
And I think that's where we disagreed last time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's just now I'm giving you a specific example.
And we still probably disagree on it, but you know.
I know. Like Amir's point was that you should be more transparent just to avoid someone else digging up your past and then ruining your credibility. But what I was trying to say was, like, if you've repented from it, you shouldn't even talk about it. You shouldn't bring it up. And the person who exposes them, you're 10 times worse. Why are you exposing someone who, for something from their past that they no longer engage in? You know what I mean? If the sheikh is an active drug dealer, like he's given lessons by day, selling drugs by night, that's a different situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is the knowledge that you're seeking. If your teacher has faults, they're a human being at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people that are on TikTok, they're not, I mean, only God knows their situation, but a lot of them are not saints. You know, they haven't reached that level of piety where they're not likely to commit sins, small sins, whatever the case may be. In the event where someone does like something extreme where they've killed someone, we aren't Islamic judges, okay? We're not here to give rulings. We're not even an Islamic podcast, if you want to think about it in that way. We speak on things that relate to us. We're both Muslim. That's something that relates to us. But we're not going to be sitting here giving you specific judgments on how you should go about treating people who have made these really big mistakes. Like, if you're in that situation where your teacher has assaulted someone or whatever the case may be, like, I can't speak on that. I can't tell you what to do because I've never been in that situation. So, like, that's just us trying to clear the air, I guess, and kind of provide a little bit more context to that clip from last week.
And I think you have to make a distinction. I don't know if I'm going to get all the way back into it, but you have to make a distinction between the right thing to do and what is religiously correct and all of that, and also the court of public opinion, because people, you know, they can try and say, oh, we will always follow what the religion tells us to say, or at least how to react to something.
Yeah.
But in everyone else, like your human nature sometimes just takes over, and you react negatively to something in a way that doesn't really fall in line with what the religion tells us how to react to a situation or how to deal with a situation. And I think that's where we disagree, because I was like, I know how people really react, and I know how we're supposed to react, but I know how people really do react. And unfortunately, because we can't control that, that's why I feel like there are certain steps you have to take or things you have to do that aren't right, but they kind of, it just is, it's the territory you're dealing with, or it's the realm that you're playing in. You kind of have to follow those rules.
But it's kind of like, let's take
it's like utopia versus like reality.
Well, let's take the religion aspect out of it, okay? Let's use celebrities, for example. Let's say, for example, Justin Bieber. He's, anyone who doesn't know Justin Bieber, you're probably living under a rock. You've even heard of his name if you don't listen to his music, whatever the case is. He's a very popular singer, and I think it was like a couple years ago some tweets surfaced where he used the N-word, or like there was a video or something like that from like a couple years ago that came out, and they were trying to cancel him for it. So it's like sort of like a similar example. If he, today's date, when this video got revealed, if he still uses the N-word and he's still ignorant in that situation, then maybe, educate him, provide him with that information. Like, hey, this is why it's wrong to use the N-word as a, like, even if, whether you're a black person using that word, or if you just don't want to use it, period, regardless of your race, you know, educate that person. If they are like, I don't care what you have to say, I'm still going to say it, I don't care if it offends anyone, then you know what, in that case, he's probably going to be canceled regardless of how people feel about him. But if he's someone who today, he doesn't even use the N-word, he's woke, you know what I mean? Why cancel someone for something that they've done a long time ago and they've corrected their wrongs?
Well, there was someone who said I generalize the internet, but I'm going to say it again. The internet doesn't accept change a lot of times. Like, they don't accept that someone can be a different person 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or like they are a different person from who they were 10 years ago. You're
a different person every day. You learn and grow every day.
Yeah, but a lot of times, like, let's take, okay, you used Justin Bieber's example, but let's use an example of someone who actually went through it, okay, so Kevin Hart, you know about that situation, how he had a joke, like, I think 10, 15 years ago, where he made some, like, he didn't really make anti-LGBTQ community jokes, but, like, he made a joke about, like, having a gay son or something like that. And the internet kind of dug that up, and he's like, hey, guys, someone already called me out for this, like, 5 years ago, and I dealt with it, and now you guys are kind of bringing it back. And he said, I already, like, said sorry for it in the past. I'm not going to say sorry for something again and again and just keep saying sorry for it. But the internet, because they had this like mom mentality, they're like, nah, we don't accept that apology or whatever. Like, you got to say sorry again. And it's like, how many times does this have to come up for me to say sorry until...
Right.
But the internet, that's why I feel like the internet doesn't accept change, or what's the best way of saying this? It doesn't allow people to change, essentially. Like, even if someone says I have changed, or they put in the work to change, a lot of times they won't accept that. They'll be like, nah, you have to make no money. All your sponsors have to be gone. You're not allowed to show your face out in public society anymore.
But like, look at Kevin Hart's situation versus like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, even if people are threatening to cancel him, he doesn't care. Like, he is who he is. He stands for what he stands for. But he's still not, like, Netflix is still airing his stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, that's also kind of because, like, the thing is, a lot of this also deals with the fact that the internet doesn't allow for context, and they don't allow for nuance a lot of the time. So, like, they'll take something that someone says, take completely out of context, put it up as a quote, and then say, you said this, say sorry for it.
Yeah.
But it's like, where's the context? Like, this was in a joke that was 20 minutes long. Right. You took this one line out of that without, like, the jokes that were leading up to it that give it context, and the jokes afterward that also give it context. Like, when you take something out of context, of course it's gonna sound bad.
Like,
right?
Us.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Exactly what happened to us.
So a lot of times people don't do the due diligence to actually look into the full piece of work that they're kind of critiquing, and will just take that one line that someone put up on a news article, and that's their only source of information, and will use that to cancel the person or attack the person. And unfortunately, like, because people react so quickly, brands will start reacting and saying, oh, we're dropping this person, even though there was no real, like, there's no they call it the court of public opinion, but there's no real. You're basically guilty until proven innocent. It's not, you're not innocent until you're proven guilty.
It's crazy that you say that though, because like the way that social media works, a lot of it is based on clickbait. If you're gonna cancel someone because of clickbait, maybe you should do your research a little bit more before you jump to conclusions, you know. But that's all I really have to say on that video, honestly. Like, I don't want to make this whole episode about that.
Yeah, and ironically, like, there's actually, on that story of Dave Chappelle, there was one of the people that were speaking out against him was like a trans person who was saying like the things he said were horrible, whatever. And people were like, you know what? Let's look into your history. So they looked into this person's history, and they had multiple racist tweets against Asians and like other ethnic groups. The person was black. I think they're she was black, but like she had jokes, not jokes, but like actual like racist rants against Asian people, Mexican people, Jewish people, just all these different sects of groups. And it's like what do they call that? What's that saying where it's like throwing stones in a glass house or something like that?
Don't throw stones at a glass house.
I think that's how the quote goes. But
whatever it is,
essentially, like, everybody has a past. Everybody's done things in their past that are wrong. And if you've shown that you've made changes, or you've changed as a person, even if you haven't showed, but like you're not really doing those things now, you can't really immediately jump to conclusions and start judging this person for what they have done in their past, or even doing now without the full context.
Right.
And then trying to destroy them financially and publicly, and like basically like a public lynching of these people. Okay, so that's our conclusion on the whole cancel culture thing.
That is our conclusion.
And related to like Islam and in general.
So I mean, if y'all still trying to come for us, go right ahead. Okay, we got 13,000 views. I
don't think they're really coming for us, honestly.
They were.
Huh?
They were.
Well, I don't think, like, the internet is not real to me. So like, I don't.
No, I know, but like, I
like, you can't take things personally on the internet.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And the thing is like, you know, we were being accused of like justifying that act that this person was accused of. And I was like, first of all, no, we didn't justify anything. We didn't even mention this person's name in the video. Second, I'm agreeing with a lot of their points. They're like, oh, cancel culture is mob mentality. Yes, we know. We literally said that. You'll find that a lot of the times everybody kind of agrees to the fundamental things. The thing is like it's just what that specific wording is mob mentality. Amir verbatim said that like 30 seconds after that clip. You know what I mean? And when he posted that, I was like, here, look, he said it. We agree. I don't know if did I say specifically mob mentality? We might have said it in the past episode, but you did say something similar. So I was like, you know, we're agreeing here. I don't know why. Also, I guess the people also lose the context in our previous episodes where we kind of addressed similar things and about cancel culture. And when you have the full context, then you kind of agree. You're like, okay, we kind of think the same. That being said, thank you for listening to our TED Talk. Just kidding. We're going to get into our episode. So we have a whole bunch of questions that people have for me, for Amir, for us. So let's get into it. Let's find a good one. What are your thoughts about girls or men commenting on how women should wear their hijab? Leaving comments on like social media and all of that? Yeah, or even in person. Like if a man comments on how a woman wears her hijab, what are your thoughts on that? In person? In person, online, however. Oh, no. Well, of course, there's a lot of wisdom that has to go behind that suggestion, not suggestion, but that comment that you're about to make. A lot of times that wisdom comes down to not saying anything at all. Well, but like not saying anything directly to that person, I mean. I kind of disagree with you there. What do you mean? So I think we can all agree. Okay. I bet you will find that we do agree, but we can all agree that wearing a scarf, covering yourself, covering your unlawful nakedness is an obligation upon men and women. The boundaries for both. Yeah. Wearing a scarf is an obligation on a woman, but like covering your unlawful nakedness is an obligation on both men and women. That being said, if, for example, I show up with my hijab wrapped backwards and my neck is showing and Amir is like, yo, you're gonna go out in public like that? He is only really doing what the Prophet told us to do, which is to encourage people to commit, like to do good deeds and to stay away from committing sins.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there's nothing wrong with doing that. However, in our day and age, I'm really trying to choose my words carefully here.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a lot, like Amir said, there has to be a lot of wisdom behind how you're advising someone.
Yeah.
Because people, if you don't have wisdom with how you're telling some, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as the hijab topic, when it comes from a man, like if it's a random man
Mm-hmm.
who's telling another person, you know, wear your hijab properly, or just wear hijab in general if she doesn't cover, 9 times out of 10 the woman's probably going to be offended, especially if it's like a random
That's why
person.
I said majority of the times it's not saying anything at all. Well, to that person directly.
But it's also wrong for a woman to say like mind your own business, because this man is just telling you to do something good, you know? So maybe like don't say that. If someone's advising you and you're telling someone that, maybe you shouldn't say that. But to the men out there who want to advise maybe their sisters, wives, friends, cousins, whatever the case is, just know that when it comes to the hijab, there are a lot of people, whether they wear it or they don't, who struggle with it. Like it's just something that they struggle with. Everyone has their own personal jihad. They have their own personal struggles. You don't know what's in their heart. You don't know how hard they're trying, how bad they might feel about themselves for not covering, or how bad they might not feel. But at the end of the day, focus on yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
So you do agree with me then?
Kind of, but not really. Like I still think there's nothing wrong with advising someone in any aspect, regardless.
No,
of,
but you didn't. Okay, so you see, you didn't understand what I fully said.
All right,
I said, okay, let me say it again here.
Okay.
I said, so when it comes to me seeing another woman who's not wearing a hijab, or maybe is wearing it wrong or something, so I have to see the situation and calculate, be like, do I know this person?
Yeah.
If I don't know this person, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Second, do I know someone who knows this person? If I do know, then I talk to them and say something. If they don't say it to them, then that's not on me anymore. And then it's like, you kind of have to think of all these things. And a majority of the times it's going to end with you not saying anything directly to that person. Because your question was like, would I say anything to that person? Most of the time I won't say anything to that person.
If it was like me or Gizman.
Yeah, then maybe I'll say something. Even in that case, like I don't really.
Well, you know, we both cover.
Yeah, exactly.
And say we're in like a group setting and like, hey, maybe my neck is now showing. You're gonna be like, oh, Sarah, like.
Yeah, and also I know myself. So before I even think about saying it, I'm not pious. Before I even think about saying anything to anyone else, I have to look at myself. I check myself. Because you point at someone, there's 4 fingers pointing back. Okay, so or 3. Whatever it is. 3.
I was trying to get that analogy.
Technically there's the thumb.
Unless you point with your thumb.
Yeah. you.
Or if you're the Habas, I'm not gonna do it on camera.
You point with your mouth and nose or something.
Okay. Next question. How old are we?
I've mentioned that like 5 times now. I feel like, oh, Sarah, guess whose birthday it is tomorrow, guys?
I'm still 28, okay? Amir's 29. As of tomorrow.
By the time this gets out, we're both going to be 29.
We're both going to be 29.
Exactly.
So that's how
so that's your answer.
We like this question. Any chance that we'll do a book club?
A book club? Maybe. Like yeah, because I feel like you can maybe like say, oh, this is a book we're doing on the podcast for that kind of thing. Yeah, I think, but I feel like that'd be a lot of pressure though. I know. First off, you got to finish the books that you have.
First of all,
you have literally like three books of mine or 2 books of mine. How many books have I given you? 2 books. Yeah. How much have you gotten through them?
The back cover.
And they're literally like one of my favorite books too.
I promise. No, it's, you know why? Because I got distracted with the other books I have. I have too many books in rotation at this point.
How many of those have you finished?
I'm actually almost done. A Gentle Reminder. Okay, I'm really proud of myself. Oh my god.
Oh, so you suggested the book and you never even finished it last time?
No, I didn't finish it, but I'm making my way. Maybe we might do one. If you guys are interested in a book club, it'll force me to read.
Exactly.
On time.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our answer to that one. This question says, what is the oldest and the youngest age you guys would marry someone?
Oh.
Like the oldest person that you'd marry, the youngest person you'd marry.
I think like for me, I'd be like, you have to be a 90s baby. Because I can't think of marrying someone who hasn't been born in like.
So your cutoff is 1999.
Yeah, like 1999 is like for the cutoff. I don't know what age that is.
7 years. 7 years younger than
Yeah,
you.
so like
22.
Yeah, something like that. So if you more than because like just saying you know that meme
2000
it's like how old are you? It's like 2000 and
keep going. That's a compound sentence.
Exactly.
I know exactly.
Oh my god, I love that meme.
Me too. Okay, I get your point.
I was talking to two guys at the gym, one of the younger like Harari boys.
Yeah.
And he was with his brother. I was like, yeah, I still drive this beater car. It was like a 2002. It's like, you guys are both younger than this car. Like, the fact that I drive a car that's younger than, older, sorry. That's older than, they're younger. The car's older.
Yeah. Dang.
But the fact that was the case, I was like, have I really been driving it for that long? Like, I remember getting the car. That's the thing. It's so weird.
I remember it had the new car smell for so long.
Because we kept the tree in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that classic. If you're not using the tree as your air freshener, I was like, what are you doing with your life?
It's a secret.
Exactly. The old school tree freshener, the blue one or the green one are like classics.
But the black one is elite.
Nah, the black one, that's like black Air Force energy or something. I don't know.
What?
That one's too much for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the black one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now we just keep a air wick, like air freshener, like actual bottle of it, and we just refresh the car with that.
I would put the tree thing in there, and like it will. I don't know what. I still don't know what the expiration date are on those things. Like I would have it in there for months or like a month or something, and it's supposed to expire. I think like after like 2-3 weeks, something like that. How much is it supposed to expire after? We need to Google that. Where's my laptop? Oh, my laptop's over there.
I've seen it there for years, but
for years. It's not supposed to be there for years, Sada.
I just wait till the color fades.
Nah, man. It's like spraying perfume on something. It's something like it's like soaked in perfume. Oh, is this my phone right here?
Yeah, why are there crumbs on it?
Oh, it's from the what do you call that?
The peanuts?
The peanuts, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, what's the oldest that you would marry?
Oh, the oldest I would marry?
Because you said the youngest is they have to at least be in 1999 is your cutoff. That's giving all the girls hope, okay?
I don't know, like
would you ever marry someone older than you?
Yeah.
Like how older? How much older?
Like maybe 2-3 years, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what's the age is that?
89 is 3 years.
89?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would really depend on like. Actually, no. I'd say 3 years without any stipulations. I'd say 3 years.
Okay. Any older, and it's like.
Yeah. It depends on what the family says, but it's 3 years. Yeah.
Age ain't
very
nothing
old
but a
school
number.
family ideas. Yeah. I feel like for girls it's different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe a year or two younger.
Yeah, it's like the opposite. Honestly,
it's literally the opposite.
Literally the opposite.
And then older, like I don't know.
What's your opinion on that? Do you feel like that makes sense? Like,
well, honestly, age really is just a number. Like if you guys align in terms of like your views on life and you guys get along. And you're able to, like, if it's in my situation, if the man is able to fulfill his obligations towards me as his wife, does it really matter how old he is? I mean, obviously, like, I'm not going to go for someone who's like 70.
Khadija and the Prophet. I'm just saying.
Exactly. So, like, it really just depends on the situation. I don't think like we are too picky, but I think within like a 5-ish radius, like age range,
Oh, for you?
Oh, older. I used to have this rule or like this thought in my head, like he can't be older than my older brother, who's literally 4.5 years older than me. So my cutoff was like pretty.
Actually, yeah, that is kind of weird. Like,
imagine like.
Yeah. Actually,
but I mean, it's.
Well, it's not really weird, but for me, like, if I was like, wait, this person.
Because man ever got with someone that was like older than you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't have the upper hand anymore.
Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly.
I know exactly what
Pure toxic masculinity right there.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I had that like as a younger when I was a teenager, I had that mentality. Yeah. But now I'm like, whatever, who cares?
Because then your brother can't look into you guys like, oh, look at them, like young couple right there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm your age, man. What are you talking about?
Right? This person asked, would you ever marry your cousin? Just curious.
Would you ever marry your cousin? It has to be. Like,
well, this person asked it twice. So for this one says your cousin in general, and then the second time they asked was, would we marry each other?
No.
We're literally brother and sister.
Yeah, no. You feel watching too much Game of Thrones, man.
I know. Like, we ain't. No, do not ship us.
No,
okay,
I'm playing.
We are siblings.
But in general, for cousin, it would have to be like distant. Like you don't even. Honestly, nah.
You would. You considered it just a second ago.
Yeah, I considered it, but like it would have to be so distant that like when we first met, I didn't even know we were cousins.
Yeah, like you'd have to do some digging.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, you don't share an immediate grandparent.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be near like one of my cousins who really knows like our ancestry. Like if Hassan was next to me or something.
If there's like a female version of Hassan.
Yeah, exactly. No. I mean like him, like because like whenever I'm here, I'm like, oh, who's that person? He's like, yeah, she's our cousin from this thing. I'm like, come on, okay, it's done.
Okay. I mean, if they're like, if you guys didn't grow up together.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because I feel like if you're trying to get
even if I didn't grow up with someone and there's like second cousin, nah.
Yeah, that is pretty close though. Yeah. Not gonna lie. Second cousin is very. If
I can see some features of my uncle in it, it's like nah.
If you look like us,
nah.
Get out of here.
Even though we all like look so like,
you know, like the way that Hararis are is like a lot of us is like an overlap. Yeah. You know? So.
Well, like that's like back in the day. Of course, that was like normal, right? No matter where you were in the world, it was kind of normal because your pool was kind of small.
Sweet home. Just kidding.
But now it's like your pool is anywhere in the world.
That's true.
And we've seen it happen a lot. So, you know.
Maybe if she was like the last person in the world, Amir might marry his cousin.
Nah, I'd just become an incel at that point.
All right, fine. That's up to you. Okay, the next question.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yes.
That's like answering our question right now.
When is Amir getting married?
Inshallah.
When?
No, just inshallah.
But like when? Like the timeline? Like, do you want to get married at least in the next like 3 years?
Well, actually, when I turned 29, I was like, damn, I'm really like almost 30. It's like
we really out here.
I gotta like put some gas on the pedal. Exactly.
All right, y'all. We're gonna do the matchmaking.
But then you said, the 30s are really when you flourish. So I'm just saying. No. I probably won't wait that long. I give myself maybe like 1 or 2 years.
Wait.
What?
1 or 2 years? That's like soon.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Inshallah.
I don't like putting timeless on everything, but then again, you kind of have to. Mm-hmm. It's like anything. If you don't give yourself a deadline, you're kind of just going to keep pushing it. And I'm a really big procrastinator.
Same here. So I'm just winging it, okay?
And I'm like literally procrastinating on something that's the whole family's waiting on. So I just say
1 to 2 years, inshallah.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 years, inshallah, that kind of thing. It depends.
All right. Okay.
I don't know what's going to I don't know what my future holds for me, Okay. Things might be different a year from now.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think too much about it.
The next question is, how long does it take you guys to edit the videos? That's a question for you because you do it.
Oh, it used to take me, like even just for the audio, it used to take me like 2-3 days because like it's like anything. You start it, you've never done it before, so you're kind of just figuring out how it works. Mm-hmm. And then as you do it, you get faster and faster and faster. So by the time we were doing our last like only audio podcast, I was able to do it almost even in a shorter time than it took to record the podcast to edit it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I would just like do it in double speed, fix all the levels, all that kind of thing. But then we switched to video, and then when we did video, like the first one literally took me like 15 hours. Like after we were done filming it and putting it together, like I and that was before we even used the green screen. So like we're always because we're always working to like step it up a little every time, right?
Yep.
So without the green screen, like that was just static camera. That one took me like maybe like 20 hours.
Wow.
And that was just to get used to the program, figure out how to like, I'm including like exporting it and all that kind of stuff, getting it together. It's like sometimes for some reason the video would be at a different frame rate. So you had to have to figure out why that is and sync up all the audio, all that. And then we started the green screen, and that kind of, because I was used to the program, adding the green screen didn't make too much of a difference. But now it gave me more artistic,
guys,
what do you call it? Artistic
freedom
to kind of just put whatever you want in our background. So I started playing around with that.
I was going to say, like, if you haven't already seen our videos, Amir, mashallah, you've been killing it. You're doing such a good job.
Let's try it out here,
Even our trailers, like, I know y'all see them. He does such a good job with the little clips.
You know what? I think I'm including the time for the clips too, because the clips really do take the longest too, because you're doing subtitles and all that stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, and then like, but now that I like kind of got used to the green screen, and I kind of got used to like how to put everything in there, it only takes me like I can even you probably notice it. Like I'll start editing today after we finish the podcast, and
It's usually
I'll
by, like,
probably
Tuesday
be done
or
it by
Wednesday
like
morning.
yeah, I'll be done the full video by like Monday. But like I didn't do the intro and the outro and all that stuff, and then I'll do that on Tuesday. So the full video is done by like Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm busy on the Monday or Tuesday, or we film late on Sunday, which is when we film the podcast. Then I'll maybe go up to Wednesday.
Yeah.
But that's the latest because, of course, the next day is the actual posting of the podcast, so I can't go really later than that.
Yeah.
But altogether, that might take me like 5 hours. No, maybe I'll say 7 hours because I'm 8 hours.
You just keep adding on more hours.
No, because I'm thinking of the clips too. The clips really do take some time to do as well.
Yeah. Okay, this one says, how would life have been different for us if we didn't grow up together?
Oh, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, like I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because we literally like we're a couple months apart. Our moms are sisters. We like all of our baby photos, all of our like photos as kids. We did so many trips together. Like
that's like saying, how would your life be different if you didn't have your sister or brother or something like that, right?
I don't know. Like I did, sometimes like I randomly think of things like that. I'm like, what if like one of us lived in another country? Like, would we treat our like we love all of our cousins? Okay, if y'all watching this, we love y'all. We miss y'all. But it would just, I don't know. You would just be like,
honestly, if we still had the same like. If we didn't grow up, when they say that, like, are they saying like you didn't exist at all, or you lived like in a different, completely
like we just maybe were like
country.
from two different cities or countries or whatever?
Then I feel like we would turn out maybe like our cousins who live like distant by themselves, that kind of thing. Like depending on your parents and how they raised you, like when it comes to religiously or but
even
the culture, that kind of thing, you might turn out somewhat the same. But of course, like we don't really know what those small influences that we made on each other, big influences we made on each other as we're growing up.
I mean, I feel like knowing our moms, like they really do a good job of keeping in contact with their sisters. Like I was telling him today, I literally set up a conference call for my mom and her 3 sisters.
Yeah, the loudest call ever recorded.
It really was. And you know, for our cousins that are in other countries, whenever we see them, it's always a good time. Like we may not have grown up with them, but I think because we value our family relationship so much, like we get comfortable with each other, and you know, it's family at the end of the day. So
yeah,
we may not, this channel probably wouldn't exist. Yeah,
exactly.
First and foremost.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was a good question. Someone else said, "What are the best memories of each other? I love your podcast." Thank you so much. I don't know if I got the screenshot of who sent that, but whoever asked that question, thank you. What's your best memory of me, and what's my best memory of you?
Best memory? Damn, I can't even think of like a best memory.
What's one that sticks out then?
Because first off, my memory sucks. I keep mentioning that. My memory is like trash. It's alright. Like I'll get like not glimpses, but like flashbacks of stuff randomly. And I'll be like, oh yeah, that did happen.
I'm trying to think like what's a good memory.
What?
You know what just came to mind?
Which?
This one year we went to Wonderland, and this was like,
oh, the one where we stood outside because we were both too scared to go on the roller coaster.
we were both so scared of this one roller coaster, and we were like bawling our eyes out. Okay, and imagine
I wasn't bawling my eyes out. Okay,
hold on, because I remember it differently. Okay, hold on. Iman, Murad, Gizman, like all of our younger cousins. You know, they were like fine, they're chilling, they're like about to get on this roller coaster, and me and Amir were like terrified. So I'm there crying. I don't even think we both went on it. And I remember like your dad was there, and he was like, come on guys, like you're embarrassing me. And we're like, no, we're not getting on. Amir, do you remember what you did?
What?
You ran to that like
the Coke thing.
You guys remember Wonderland?
I love
that,
those
like,
things.
That like random area where you cool down. There's like mist where you're supposed to cool down.
Yeah, it's like a Coke station, but it has mist coming down.
He like ran there.
I just chilled there until everybody got back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing. I was literally thinking about that until when you mentioned it. I was like, really? I remember running to this Coke thing, and then you mentioned, I was like, oh yeah, I actually did do that. Because sometimes my memory betrays me, you know? Sometimes I think I remember something, but really it didn't happen, or it did happen, but it happened completely different. So I have to kind of like rethink it. That,
and then my other, like actually my best memory is when we were like 2 or 3 maybe, and Amir I don't know. I don't know what our parents are doing. Okay, CPS, don't come for them.
Yeah. Okay.
But Amir, put my shoes on for me, put on a jacket, and we basically just booked it. Like we ran out of the house in the middle of the night, and we're like running, and then obviously our mom's like 2 seconds later saw, and
the neighbors caught us.
I stopped running, but Amir, being Amir, kept running for his life.
Of course. And honestly, I felt like I probably was like running like the Flash, but really I was going like 2 feet a second.
I know. And that's so scary as a parent. Like imagine your kids just running out in the middle of the night.
And the cold too. I think it was like fall or winter, it was like early winter, something
but
like
the fact that Amir put on my shoes for me, like
backwards, I believe. I think that's what they mentioned. They mentioned like backwards. Something was wrong about the shoes. Because I don't remember it specifically, but like I've heard the story 1,000 times at this point. Yeah, I've heard it.
Like I feel like it's a memory, but it's probably just us remembering the story being told.
Exactly. That's the one thing that when you think your memory is like betraying you or not betraying you, but you're like, do I remember that, or is it just I kind of put it together from what people told me? But you know what was a good memory that I remember? You remember? So I don't know if we mentioned this before, but we went to Philly and we had to get a hotel with our family at one night. And then like and we were like in the Sheraton or something. We were all sleeping in this one room. I was sleeping on the floor with like someone else. I forget who was sleeping on the floor with me. But so I don't know why I did this, but I just got up and stood in the middle of the room with all the lights off. I have no idea why. And then my Anna, my aunt.
Wasn't it your mom?
No, it wasn't my mom. Yeah, it was my mom. It was my mom. She gets up because I think it was like around Subway time. Maybe that's why I was up. I was just standing in the room. She gets up and she sees a figure standing in the room, and all you hear is her like she. When my mom gets scared, like she gets hysterical, right? So all you hear in the background is
stop! I could have dropped my croissant.
Like literally shrieking. It's like maybe 4 or 5 a.m. And I remember you were like trying to see the time. That's why you were doing that.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, because she was on. It was on the other side of the bed. Yeah, and I had to lean over her to see it. And then
she woke all of us up.
Yeah,
and we all got scared.
And Sarah was in the bed next to her. So all I see is Sarah, like she's sleeping with the sheets like somewhat pulled down. All you hear is screaming, go, ah! And she puts this like sheets over her face and just hides under the sheets like the sheets are gonna protect her from an attacker. But just like I wish I could be much a better visual storyteller, but just the whole like combination of my mom screaming and hearing like Sarah like pull the sheets over, and then all you hear is my aunt and the laugh start laughing.
We laughed for like 20 minutes straight, honestly, after that.
The whole family was laughing at that point, but that was a good memory there. I'm sure there's probably more, but I just can't think about them right now.
If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Miss you guys. Miss you too, Nia.
What meal would you eat? Ooh, I know.
I know too.
What? Go ahead.
I'd have lasagna.
Lasagna?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's the meals.
Fruits.
Yeah.
There's tomato in the tomato sauce. There's protein in the ground beef.
No,
there's calcium in the cheese, and then carbs in the
you're
pasta.
Fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself if you think lasagna is a well-balanced meal, okay?
It is a well-balanced meal.
Nah, man. You gotta... Okay. So, the lasagna, first off, is just like straight up oil. Just even press on it, oils like oozes out of that thing.
First of all, why are you guilting me for liking lasagna?
Okay. You know what? They didn't say what healthy food option would you get, okay?
If you could have any meal, health aside, what would it be?
For me? This is a big question.
You get the burger from Mini Mo's.
No.
Really?
For me, because like I like stuff that's like, I'm a creature of habit, right? Mm-hmm. So I eat like the same thing. I've been eating the same thing for 2-3 years now. Something like that. Pre-COVID, even before COVID, I was eating it for like a year, but I've been eating the same meal. I've had like salmon for one meal, and I have chicken with one meal. Sometimes I put salad with the salmon, or I put rice and veggies with one, and I'll put the salad with the other. I'll just swap it. So, and that's literally all I eat the whole week. And then, of course, I'll go out to eat maybe once or twice a week. Twice a week sometimes, but I have to go out at least once a week to get something. Yeah. But I could do without that. Like, I don't really crave it. Like, I just do it out of necessity.
Like, health aside, like, there's not one meal that, like, you're like, yeah.
I get a poke bowl.
All right, fine.
Yeah, poke bowls are, like, the best thing. 1 second. Pardon the interruption. What was I saying? But yeah, Pokeball. No,
Okay.
honestly, because think about it. The Pokeball is just
Not
it's
trying to
like
justify it.
because I love sushi.
Yeah. Okay. You know what?
Yeah. See, exactly. I love sushi, and then the Pokeball, like, first off, you get like different options and stuff. Like you can get like edamame in there if you want. You can get the crispy onions. You get that nice bed of rice on the bottom. You
What's
get
the place that you took us to in the West?
Aloha Poke.
Oh, the best.
Yo, that place is the best. That's the place I would probably go to if I could eat one meal every time. I'd go to that place and get it if it was free, of course, because that place is like, expensive.
It is.
And I would get a Pokeball there with the with the salmon mixing like their special. I think it's like a teriyaki sauce or something. Oh, and just think about it now. I want to get it like that with that seaweed.
Oh, seaweed salad.
Yeah, seaweed salad and the corn.
Now I want one.
I'm telling you, the Pokeball is a perfect recipe because it has the veggies.
Let's
it
get
has
Pokeballs
the rice.
next week.
Okay, we'll get Pokeballs next
Okay.
week. It has the veggies. It has the rice.
Yeah.
And it has a protein. It's like the perfect meal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's an interesting question. Someone said, if I wanted to convert to Islam but my fiance doesn't approve, go through with it?
Yes.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
If your fiance doesn't approve, well, you're only getting buried by yourself. So just think about it in that sense.
Exactly. I don't think we're even allowed to say any other than that.
Maybe just get a new fiance. Amir single, so.
Wait, let me see where that question is.
This one. I didn't see this one
I
come
want to
through.
convert to Islam. My fiance doesn't approve of it. Do I go through with it? But I see why she would ask that because like it's such a big decision and it depends on what your fiance is already connected to, right? Because if you're both like a big part of like a Christian community and then
you're probably not going to be able to stay together unless he converts also.
Exactly. So that decision, of course, is a big decision to make and you won't get out of that making that decision like unscathed depending on who your partner is. If your partner's right, well actually no, we know because she said he doesn't refuse, but of course it requires you. I think communication is the biggest part here. Like make sure you speak to your partner about that kind of stuff and say, okay, this is the decision I'm going to make, and then speak about it like that. Like go through it. Don't make it a some people might go into the conversation starting it as like a negotiation. Like if you know this is a decision you want to make, especially if it's like religious decision like that, it's definitely have to communicate with your partner there and be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. How am I gonna work this out? That kind of thing. But there's a lot in that.
There's a lot in that. But if you need support, reach out to us. We got you. Okay. Someone said, I love the Spotlight series. Can anyone request to be a guest, or are they only people that you know? No, anyone like. The Spotlight series, the whole purpose of that is to literally put a spotlight on this person for whatever reason. Like if they have a business, if they have something going on, they just want to share something. We want to give that platform to this person. So if any of you guys want to be featured, message us. We can talk something out and see if it works and then we can go from there. So
we're still figuring out the whole like scheduling process for that kind of stuff. So it might be a while, but eventually we will get pretty much anyone who, not anyone of course, but like a lot of people who request will probably get on there at some point. On here at some point.
Someone said, I'm obsessed with having hobbies. What are some of yours?
I think everyone knows my hobbies. Literally the working out and like
reading.
Working out, reading, and actually is learning a hobby. I love learning, like learning new things. Like if you look at my you can buy programs on the site called Udemy. There's a lot of sites you can buy programs on, but there's a site that I use called Udemy, and I literally like they have sales all the time. So you can buy a program for like $10-15. I'll buy a bunch of programs, just go through them and learn how to do different things. So I just love learning, like just skills that I feel like I can use. Even it's definitely skills that I feel like you can use. Maybe I can't think of anything that I can use them in right now, but they might come useful in the future. So I'll just kind of learn it and just go with that. And so if learning was a hobby, or maybe if it is a hobby, say that's also one of my hobbies.
I mean, I think this podcast is a hobby too, in a sense, no?
I guess it would be a hobby. Yeah.
I mean, for myself, do I have any hobbies?
Come on. I was trying to make reading your hobby, but that didn't.
It kind of is now.
Yeah.
Like I do enjoy it. I just don't make enough time for it. Aside from that,
So I think what we're learning here is that Sarah needs to get some hobbies.
Clearly, I need to get some hobbies.
Yeah.
Well, I'm working on that. Okay.
So you have nothing that you like just do, not out of necessity, but just because you want to, like just on a daily or like even weekly, you kind of just do.
I got into baking at one point.
Yeah.
Like I actually really enjoyed it, but then it wasn't good for my waistline. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
know?
guess so.
And my parents were like, "Stop. Enough is enough. We're gonna get diabetes." Well, my mom already has.
And was that when you got into baking? Was it out of like learning the art of bakery, or was it just because I'm craving cookies right now? Can I make the cookies?
You know what it was? So like in the start of the pandemic, like we weren't going out, and I got into just cooking in general, and then it trickled into baking. Like I've always liked baking just for fun, but I was home all the time, and my parents were home, and so they became my taste testers. So I would like I wonder if I can make my own Popeye's chicken, you know? And we made it, and every week or every other day, like I'd be making something new, and I'd make like whatever, baking or cooking, and then they taste it, and if they like it, then I'm like, all right, I'll know this for the next time we do a hangout or something. I'll make something.
Okay.
So it's kind of just like that. But
yeah, but I feel like having hobbies is
skincare. Like, I mean, is that a necessity? Like I love doing a skincare routine.
No, that can be a hobby too.
Like I genuinely sometimes, like when I'm having like a hard day at work, I'm like, can't wait till like 9 p.m. where I can just go spend like 20 minutes doing my skincare.
Yeah, like what exactly is the definition of a hobby? I would assume that is a hobby. If it's something that you look forward to, learning how to get better at it, and like just being interested in the whole realm of like skincare, I feel like is a good hobby.
I also really, you know what? Now I'm discovering all my hobbies. Remember when it was still like warmer outside? I really enjoyed going on walks. Like I remember you, like Amir earlier, like maybe like episode 1 or 2. Amir really pushed, like he encouraged me to do it, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And every time I went for a walk, I never came back saying like, oh, I regret doing that. Like I came back and I really enjoyed it, and I couldn't wait to do it again tomorrow. So
is that a hobby? Yeah, I guess
walking. I don't have to walk. I mean.
We have to really define what a hobby is then. At that
I know,
point.
right? At this point, it's I like to live.
Because walking is like, okay, that's like fitness, exactly like this.
But yeah, you work out for fun.
But I also like the science of fitness, and like I watch videos on it to the point where when you gain enough knowledge, I feel like I can teach it to other people, and also the food side of it. Like when you get engulfed in the world of
you're passionate about it.
Yeah, when you're passionate about it, I feel like that's when it becomes a hobby, like something, or I don't know. It depends on what you define a hobby as. Yeah.
But I don't walk to work out. Like I do it. Yeah. There's added health benefit. Yeah. Like it's good to walk.
Yeah.
I also like the mental clarity that I get. Like I enjoyed walking in nature. Like walking on a treadmill to me.
Hiking. No, we call it urban hiking.
You know what though?
Yeah.
If I came prepared, I think I would have enjoyed that, because I actually when we went to Banff, I loved that. I really liked the hikes that we did, and it was like easy trails, you know, flat ground, dry.
So you can make it a hobby then. You can
let's go hiking.
Like, do some when you're doing research about something and like in your free time. That's when you're like, okay, this is really turning into a hobby.
If I do research on a good trail and I invite you to go, would you go with me?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
There you go. We're developing hobbies literally as we're speaking about them.
I'm going to buy hiking shoes.
So the question is, what's your favorite book, or like one of your favorite books, and why? And I've already mentioned like one of my favorite books is the autobiography of Malcolm X, because like it made such a big impact on me, of like seeing someone's story and their, what do they call it, life path, like how it had so many twists and turns and how it led them to like Islam, and you know, you can relate to that kind of part as well. And I don't know, it also made my deen stronger, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I don't know, that book was just well written. I just love the book in general. So then that's why I gave you the book. I literally bought the book for 2 people, or I gave you my copy of it, and I bought the book for someone else. So I can't, that's the only book I really bought for someone else. But I do have a lot of other books I like. Like there's a book I really like called Anxious People that I read last year. That one, shoot, I need to pull up the author. I'll pull it up and I'll put it up behind. That one was a really good book because it just gave you like kind of like the premise of it is like there's a crime in a house at like an open house.
Oh, it's a fiction?
Yeah, it's a fiction.
Oh, I thought it was like actually about anxious.
Yeah, and then like there's a bunch of people in the house when the crime happened. There's like a whole hostage situation. And even though the book's like centered around that, it's really about people. in general, like how everybody's somewhat connected, and like how it shows that everybody's kind of, even though all these people in this house, like what they're going through, like how it shows they're kind of connected and what they're going through. It's a really good book. I'm not really selling it very well because it's been a while since I read it. So if it was fresh on my mind, I can give you a lot more details. But I just really like that book as well. What other books can I think of? There's a book I finished recently about money. Like, honestly, any books on financial literacy are really good.
You did bring that. I can't remember what it's called, but you brought
it's literally on my. Should I go and get it? Nah.
Just put it up here.
Yeah, I'll put it up here when I remember it. But I feel like for the people who are listening, they should also get into it. You know what? I'm gonna go and get it. All 1 second. Let me go and get this.
Oh my god! I didn't even see the.
Okay, so I brought I brought a few books with me just for visuals as well.
Dang.
So the book I mentioned, Anxious People, is by Frederick Bachman. This is the book right here. I know I was gonna throw it in the back anyways, but I just want to bring that one because this book I really like. Also, a book I recently read that I really like is by a YouTuber that I really love, but he's also an author. I think he was an author before he was a YouTuber, called John Green, and it's called The Anthropocene Reviewed. And even though it's literally just he's just reviewing a bunch of random things. Like, let me see if I can find it. I'm really just making this a book thing. Yeah. Like, one of them is like called like Humanity's Temporal Range and like air conditioning. Like, it's literally the most random things that he's reviewing, but it's not really about what he's reviewing. It's more about like his life experience with whatever he's talking about, or how that one small thing about air conditioning and how it's connected to like the world and how it like changed the world in a way. Because think about it, air conditioning is like such a like
you don't even think about it.
It's like such a small thing as you think about, but really we couldn't live in a lot of the places in the world if we didn't have air conditioning, right?
True that.
At least comfortably. And also the book about money that I was talking about, that was actually given to me by Gizman, my sister, or Aisha Harun, is The Psychology of Money. That one I recently finished. That one's really, really good. And also, if you're interested in anything in regards to like black people or black culture or black history, I think a really good book you should start with is called The Souls of Black Folk by W.E.B. Du Bois. Maybe I'll go deeper into this on another podcast, but that one's a really good book. It's like a collection of essays.
I remember you telling me about
this one really like gave me a good idea of how the lives of black people were, or the black folks, souls of black folk, the lives of black folk after the Emancipation Proclamation, when they were set free basically, and how they actually like before all the propaganda against black people, they actually had a lot of, they're developing, like they're working on their own lands. They had a lot of, they owned a lot of property. They had a lot of businesses. And of course, there's a lot that happened in the early 1900s where that was kind of taken away and stripped from them. And it kind of goes into that as well. But that's a really good book. Sorry, I kind of went into it. We're going a little far.
My list is like one book and one book only.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mentioned it on our last week's or two episodes ago.
Yeah.
Is the book. It's called A Gentle Reminder by Brianna. Who's it by? I don't even remember. I have a photo of it somewhere in here. Anyways, it'll be up here. I didn't bring the book.
That's literally how you said it last time too.
Sorry. Okay, so next question. What do we do for a living?
What do you do for a living? Oh, that's boring stuff, man. Yeah. I'm just like I don't even know what to say it is. Technician, I guess. I'm a support technician. That's what you could say. I work like in electrical engineering and all that kind of stuff. Boring stuff, you know? You don't want to hear about that. It's like in waste management, you know, this thing.
I'm a pension specialist.
Yeah.
That's what we do by day.
I wish it was like something more grand than that.
I know, but right? Like we're just everyday people.
Yeah, regular 9-to-5ers, basically.
Yeah, actually. Okay, let's answer this one by Gizman.
A.K.A. Aisha Harun.
A.K.A. Aisha Harun. What has been the most challenging part about starting a podcast?
For me, it was the setup. Like, it literally took us like 3-4 months to actually like get started, because you have to like get the materials. Yeah. You have to find out what programs to use. Thankfully, like I already had some idea of what to do. Yeah,
like we talked about it a lot before we actually started recording.
Exactly. We talked about it. What would we do? It was really the setup. And then once you kind of get going, and you kind of find your groove, then at that point, it just becomes clockwork. Like you already know what the setup is. Now we're kind of like just kind of cruising on exactly what we're doing. We'll make small changes here and there if we feel like we need to, but all the big stuff was done on the back end when you first started.
Yeah.
So that's really it. Just getting it started. And of course we made it probably a lot more complicated than it had to be.
Well, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah, because some people, they literally just pull up an app and they just start talking with their friends, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can do that and it can work for you, but I don't know. I just felt like we kind of had to just go, like we had to get the best quality right away.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, go big or go home.
I think that was definitely the biggest part. And then maybe like even just building up my confidence to like put my voice out there, you know? Because it's so easy to have these conversations like without it being recorded, but we had to like mentally prepare to like put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
Or for
I
me
think
anyway.
at least, yeah, because for me, I didn't really think about it like that because maybe there's always a disconnect between me and like online. It like the what do you call it? The consequences of putting something online, or this
really,
or the coming consequences of something being put online. Because I usually let a lot of that stuff just roll off my back. I'm super laid back, so for me it's like I don't overthink those kind of things. I'm overthinking other things, but not things that I put online like that.
Okay. What are your 5-year goals?
5-year goals?
Girl, I don't even know. My goal is for tomorrow. Okay.
Maybe like getting married.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like, getting married. Like, you know, your regular thing. Getting married, getting a place to live. At this point, I'm just saying getting a place to live because I don't know if getting a house is really in the plans at this point.
Yeah.
And like, you know, starting the whole family thing, right?
Yeah, I guess like if we really want.
Well, like, oh no, actually, sorry, I'm thinking also like for the podcast in 5 years, I hope that this is like.
Okay, podcast
has grown a lot. Yeah,
like inshallah, you know, we if the podcast grows to we don't have like a how do I put this? We didn't start this podcast with money as the main motivator.
Or even followers as the main
motivator. Really. So, you know, if it grows into something bigger, like that's a goal of ours. We are, you know, working towards that, and inshallah we get to that point. But, you know, podcast wise, that's what we hope to grow this podcast.
And also like for this channel in general, like the Cousin Connection brand, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to expand it into not only podcasts, but like other videos that we can make, which we are working on in the back end. So like, so you're not only coming to us for this material, like we have other things, maybe shorter things that you can kind of get into a lot easier.
Stay tuned for the future.
Yeah. Just so you're not, exactly. We want to just spice it up a bit. I'm always thinking of like, what the next thing we can do is. It's going to be different to kind of grow this a lot quicker.
What keeps you inspired to upload each week?
That's like when people ask me what inspires you to go to the gym every day. It's like, it's not always, you don't always need the inspiration. It's like, it's just when you build that habit. Sorry, I feel like I'm only answering because you should answer this question.
No, because I want to hear what you want to say.
Well, you asked okay. Well, for me,
like I genuinely want to know.
Because you asked the question and then I'm thinking like, oh wait, I should answer this right away, right? No. But for me, it's like when I build a habit in something, then it's not a matter of like, do I need the inspiration or motivation to do this? Like I have to do this, so I'm gonna do it, kind of thing, right? Yeah. So even for working out, it's not like I want to work out every day or the days that I do.
I thought you enjoyed it.
Like I enjoy it to a point, but like there's some days where you don't feel like working out, right? Or maybe you have like something comes up, like someone asks you to do something, it's like, oh, but I have to work out. It's like, how am I gonna make this work? It's like, how if I just skip the workout? It's like, nah, you have to do it. Even if you cut it short, you don't do maybe the whole workout, but you at least go. Like I still make sure to make that a point, and it's at this point it's a habit. So like it would be weird for me. I would feel weird stopping going to the gym. Like when the pandemic started and the gyms were closed, I wasn't thinking, oh, how am I gonna work out now? It's like I knew I was gonna work out, or not how am I gonna work out? Sorry. Now I'm gonna. I didn't think at any moment. Now I'm gonna have to stop working out. It's like, how am I gonna work out now? Like, what am I gonna do? How do I set up my place? Like, even the first couple weeks when I didn't have any equipment, I was literally just doing my workouts with like body weight stuff. Yeah. I went on Amazon immediately, like 1-day shipping, got a pull-up bar and like the bands. I started off with bands because everybody was scared, so everybody was buying weights right away. So, and I wasn't even in Canada when the lockdown started, so I didn't have that chance to buy the weights right away. So everything was gone by the time I got back. So I used bands for like the first few months, and then eventually I was able to kind of purchase some weights, and I used that from then on. So yeah, when you have when you build that habit, it doesn't become a matter of like motivation or inspiration. You kind of just do it because you know that it's something that you've promised to or you made part of your routine.
That's actually really different from what I was gonna say.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, even if there are days where maybe you don't, like, for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't have any ideas this week. Like, hopefully Amir comes with something, or we'll just figure it out. Like, anytime that I'm looking for motivation, I always think back to some of the messages that we get. Honestly, that those motivate us. Like, some people, especially when we talk about some of the more hard hitting topics, and you know, people say, oh my God, like, I'm so glad I'm not alone in this, or I can relate to it. Seeing people, like, and connecting with so many people that I would have never otherwise connected with through this, like, outlet. That's what motivates me. It's like being able to
connect with the people who are listening.
Yeah. I really enjoy that. So
yeah, I'm complete opposite on that. As you can see with like, sometimes oh my God, there was one the other day where I saw like back and forth, like these like voice messages and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna click out of that. Yeah. Like, I'm not even gonna touch this. I'm out.
Yeah, whenever, like, if you're receiving a voice note from us in DM, it's always me.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Amir will ever send you a voice note.
I'll reply back with like a line, be like, I agree, or like something very small.
Or like dash Amir.
Yeah.
What's your biggest regret in life?
Biggest regret in life? I don't like to think of regrets, man. Because like, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't make the decisions that I did make, whether right or wrong. So, I mentioned a few podcasts ago where I was like, I regret not graduating in like university, but then I'm like, nah, but then I wouldn't have like went to the college I went to. I wouldn't have done the co-op I did. I wouldn't have gotten the job that I did. And like, I wouldn't be in the position I am now where I have a pretty good job and all that. Cause maybe I would have graduated, but because like maybe my marks weren't as best, I didn't get the co-op. So I had no experience coming out of university and it was hard to find a job. And I'm like, you know, so, I try not to think of regrets, so I kind of just cast them away as they come.
Castaways.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was one of before I learned that, learned to accept that. That was one of my biggest regrets, like not finishing university. And I feel like that was kind of reinforced with like, you know, you get to that age where you start seeing people graduate and they start posting it online. And you start seeing those kind of things like, oh, that could have been me. But then when you mature essentially and you realize that you're only in the position you are in right now because of decisions you made, then you start to cast those away a lot easier and they don't really bother you as much as they used to.
That's a good answer. I want to kind of say the same because I'm trying to think like, what do I regret? Maybe it's like, sometimes maybe just not speaking up when I should have. That's probably it. That's in like a general sense.
Oh, actually, yeah. Like I see what you mean. Like in a situation where you could have been,
like whether it's defending someone, defending myself, speaking up against something that was wrong. Just you know, a lot of times I shy away from. Like I'm, sometimes I can be confrontational, but a lot of times, if I'm lacking confidence, then I won't be. So maybe it's that. Ooh, how did you get over your ex?
Easiest answer to that is time.
That is such a generic answer.
I'm just saying.
Like, I hated that when people told me, like,
all wounds.
I hated when people said that to me. Like, I hated
But
that.
Am I not right?
It's not time. It's, you have to put in the work within yourself to heal the wounds. Otherwise, if you just sit there and sulk for 3 years, you're still going to be just as sad as you were on day one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that is a very generic answer.
Time kind of blurs the memories for you a little bit. And you go from remembering the bad parts to remembering the good parts. That's what time does. But when you actually put in the work and you really not only just sit there and blame your ex, but you kind of have to, you know, because when a relationship ends, it usually ends because you can no longer continue as a pair. There's some sort of disconnect or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? So you have to sit there and you really have to be introspective and look within yourself And it's not always like the blame game, right? You're not sitting there saying like you can't be self-loathing. You can't say that you're the problem, and you can't also blame the other person, but take the lessons, extract the lessons from that situation and apply that to your life to move forward. So that's how you get over your ex.
I guess you can say like, okay, because a lot of people might think about it as a wasted time.
No.
But really it's like, oh no, I learned a lot from that experience, right?
Yeah. And I think you should be grateful for the positives that you got from that experience, that you were able to have that type of connection with someone in the first place. You know now that you're capable of love and you're capable of all the good parts of that relationship. You're probably capable of even more once you find the right person for you. So, you know, you should never think of, if something didn't work out, you shouldn't think of it as a waste of time. It was an opportunity for you to experience something and for you to learn and grow from it, hopefully.
And you feel like that will help you get over it by like kind of analyzing it in a way.
Yeah. I think, you know, you kind of just have to spin it. I know breakups in general are very like, it's a tough topic. It's sad. It's not something that's happy, but you have to try and do your best to like spin it into a, like have a more positive outlook going forward. And I know it's so much easier said than done. Like, if you guys ever want to do a breakup topic, I'm like super passionate about that. So let me know and we'll talk about it. But yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah.
But like ultimately it does take time.
Yeah, of course.
Even with all the like analyzing it and learning all that thing, like, you won't be able to kind of analyze it within a month and be like, okay, I'm over it now.
For sure.
Yeah, like it still will take time.
Yeah, like you take your time with your healing, right? Like don't rush yourself. Don't give yourself like an end date, like in 3 months I have to be good. No, take your time. You'll know when you feel good.
And some people get over it a lot faster than others.
Yeah. When are you going on tour?
Going on tour? I hadn't even thought about that. Going on tour. I don't think like in the 5-year goal, let's say that. Yeah, in the 5-year goal.
Wow, really?
Huh?
You want to go on tour? What are we going to do? Have a live podcast?
Well, no, we're thinking now. Like we don't know where it's going to be. Because the thing is, with the internet, you could be no one one day and be no one around the world in a week or the next day, literally sometimes. So you never know. Inshallah, like we might get to a point where you could do a tour. But I'm not saying I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to happen, but it is a possibility.
That'd be so crazy if we did that.
Yeah. You never know, man. What? Who is Patrick Starr?
Who is Patrick Starr? That's a great question.
Oh my God. He knows what he's doing there.
I know.
This guy is trolling for
he's
sure.
He's a makeup artist and he's a star that lives in SpongeBob.
Well, he's a starfish.
Starfish, sorry.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Topic of a whole episode, maybe. Do you consider yourselves religious Muslims?
Well, yeah. What exactly does it mean? Like, I guess we all have an idea of what a religious Muslim is, right? Everybody's idea of what a religious Muslim is very different.
Yeah.
Because it depends on which extreme you're working with. Like, there are certain places in the world where, like, people call themselves Muslims by name, but, like, you wouldn't be able to tell unless they told you that they're Muslim. So like their idea of what a religious person is might be our idea of what a non-religious person is. So it really depends on your situation and where you are. Yeah.
I think like pretty general for both of us. Like we're both just working towards being better Muslims. Yeah. We're not comfortable. Like you should never feel like, okay, I'm good now. You know what I mean? You should always strive to be better and work towards your akhirah. How do you say akhirah in English? The hereafter. Yeah, exactly. Do you see yourselves living outside of Canada?
Yeah. Well, the furthest I would probably go is America.
LA.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not even LA. Like maybe like LA, of course, is one of the spots, but I would go to somewhere where it's. I don't like. The thing is, we always talk about like being able to live. It would be ideal to live here. But it's almost with the like what our goals are, like getting the house and all that. But it's getting to a point where like that might not even be an option anymore. Yeah. So you might be thinking, okay, maybe I can get some work out in America. You know, get a visa, all that stuff. Like Texas. Yeah, and exactly. Like that was one of the spots. Like Texas might be a good spot.
But a lot of people say it's not nice to live there. I mean, Texas. I don't know.
No, that's a balance here, right? You have to kind of like take the goods, the pros with the cons.
True.
Yeah.
True
But hopefully things get better until then.
I hope so.
Yeah, but I definitely could see myself living outside of. You know what? Do you ever see yourself living in Europe at any point? Like maybe Europe?
When I went to Switzerland and Sweden, I loved Switzerland for like vacation vibes, but I loved Sweden. Like I really, really liked it. And I was like, oh my God, I could move here. But I was also like 18, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, because it's ideal when you seeing it from a tourist perspective or tourist perspective. But to live there is a completely different story, right?
That's true. I mean, in general, yeah. Like I don't feel like I have to stay in Canada for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I'd end up. When are y'all visiting ATL? Hi, Iman. We miss you.
Oh, it's Iman?
Yeah, Iman, Iman, our other cousin, Iman.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I want to go to ATL like soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next year, inshallah. I know we're giving like specific day, but honestly, I love ATL. That's like ATL.
Really? I don't
really
like it when I went, but
you guys had bad experiences. Every time I've been to ATL has been a good experience, so I love it over there.
Yeah, maybe we'll be here next year. We'll see. The last and final question.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's my answer. No.
Is Amir dating anyone?
No.
No, he's a single man. What does he look for in a girl, in a woman?
What do I look for?
Yeah, please answer that.
I'm going to save that for the relationship podcast. Okay, thanks for listening, guys.
Really? We're going to just leave?
I feel like I've answered that question, no? I guess, okay, we'll answer it again here.
Okay.
But what I look for, like before I used to mention, like, I look for someone who works out in the gym. Oh, it's like a big thing.
All these gym rats would be like, hey, Amir.
Yeah, but then I look at myself like, yeah, but, that's what I love doing. It's like, why would I make that a requirement on that other person, right? So I had to stop thinking like that. But definitely like the religious part of it, they have to be like at the same, not same level, but like they have to kind of think roughly the same as what I do religiously in a level. So like there's no awkwardness there. Yeah. It's like, you want to join prayer? It's like, oh, I don't pray. It's like, oh, okay, bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because that's the reality of the situation.
Right.
And people always ask me, like, I think you guys asked me last time, like, hijabi or no hijabi. And for me, it's like, I used to say, oh, it's like either way, but I'm kind of leaning more towards like hijabi now. I don't know. There's such a loaded question.
I mean, hey, we got time.
What do you do? I feel like we should really do this a whole.
We're gonna do. We still listen. Maybe we'll do like
think about it. Let me think about it more.
Season 2 premiere.
Yeah,
might be the relationship podcast.
Yeah, let me think about that one more, and then I'll like get more in depth of like really analyze it, because honestly I haven't thought about it too much.
Well, you should, because you're trying to get married.
Yeah, and like just going off of my history of like what I've been like attracted to. No person has been the same. Yeah. So even for me, I'm confused. Like, what do I like?
That's something that you need to evaluate now. Like, if you're looking for a wife, you kind of have to sit there. Like, what am I looking for?
Exactly. So I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that in another podcast. I'll go deeper into it on another podcast. Just let's try and tease that out.
All right. That concludes our Q&A. Thank you guys so much for sending it in. Thank you guys for listening to.
I'm sweating again, by the way.
Why?
I don't know why. This room is so hot for me all the time.
It's the tea.
I think it's the tea, and also I think the heater's on. So it's kind of like heating me. I thought wearing a t-shirt today would make a difference, but it didn't.
But yeah, I mean, you guys stuck around for the last 30 episodes. Thank you so much to all of our loyal, longtime followers, all the new people that are tuning in. Welcome. Stay for a while. Subscribe. Send us suggestions if you want to hear. But yeah, I mean, keep checking back in our page. I'm sure we're going to be active somewhere. We may or may not post another video. We'll let y'all know. But yeah, I don't know what else I have to add unless we're ready to close it out.
Nah, we're ready to close it out, man. We're good.
Amir's like, no more questions, okay? Y'all?
I'm like, my brain is completely just emptied right now.
All right. You guys know what to do. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram. Amir was taken. Ali Sara with 2 underscores, and of course Cousin Connection Pod. Follow us on TikTok if you want to see more controversial clips. And and we will talk to you guys soon. And have a good week. Bye.